Only bourbon fans.
All right, only bourbon fans. It's your host, Zach. I'm here with the one and only great Googly Moogly. Googs, how you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. We're doing something cool tonight, just you and I. We are doing a single barrel pick on this right now. I'm
Waiting for this one for a little while.
Yeah, I'm excited. So what we're doing is a single barrel pick from Tamworth out in New Hampshire, which is local to you, Googs. We had way back over a year now, right? Probably Jamie Oakes, their head distiller over at Tamworth, on for a podcast episode, and we spent a long time with him that night. And you have visited the distillery. You've bought different kinds of bottles from them. And, you reached out, because this is kind of homegrown to you, just about, possibly doing a single barrel with them. And they were pretty much all for it right away. So finally getting around to it because I think the New Year's hit and everybody's
Yeah, right.
available. So what we have here is 3 samples that Jamie and Tamworth had sent us. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about what we're sampling here today?
Yeah, so it's a bottle I had bought last year. It was the first one I bought of it. It's their Chocorua Rye. Most of the stuff that they do is based on stuff in New Hampshire. So there's Mount Chocorua up in the White Mountains. Don't ask me what town or whatever because I'm not 100% sure of it, but I know in the general areas up in the White Mountains. So they named their bottle after this. I wish I would have brought my bottle out to my recording studio because it's a really cool bottle. They have a lot of cool designs on their stuff and whatnot. They're kind of like they're an artistic group of all sorts of making whiskey, labeling, and all kinds of stuff like that. So, but it's the Chocorua Rye. This specific one, it's a straight rye, so it's 100% rye, and it is at 90 proof, is what they sell this at. So that's what we're tasting. We're tasting 3 different barrels, all proofed at 90.
So if we're talking about Tamworth here, if you have not listened to all our stuff from the very beginning, like Googs said, Tamworth is located in New Hampshire. It was founded by Stephen Grass. So you should go back and listen to that episode. I don't remember the date, but we get into a lot about Stephen with Jamie, who founded Tamworth, and he's kind of like really interesting guy, and what he's been doing with Tamworth is really cool. So I think a little background before we get into
Yeah.
this single barrel pick is cool. And he's
He also he's the founder. So before Tamworth, he also was the founder of Hendrick's Gin.
yes,
So
that was it.
so yeah, he I think actually him and Jamie met up. I think it was in Philly. I think Jamie said they I think he had a spot. I think that's Hendrix, was it made in Philly or something like that, or he was
Might have
somewhere,
been.
something with them both being in Philly. I remember they met up, and yeah, so
And they produce a lot of different drinks, as you kind of talked about too. Some are brandies. They do a lot of brandies. They do
yeah.
bourbons. They do. I think in our region up here in the Northeast, rye is very popular. So they do rye. They also do some special Chocorua ryes that are different proofs and different prices as well. They also do the Eau de Musk,
Yes, we do have
which
experience with that.
are some of the Beaver
Yeah,
Anus was the main one, right? The first one that they did.
yeah, they did a bunch. It's under thing called House of Tamworth, and
Yeah.
that's kind of all their specialty, kind of very out there,
I,
exotic.
I got it right. I got it right here. Deer
Yeah,
Slayer venison.
yeah, that's actually good. I had that one before.
Of course it is. Spruce and goose.
That's their newest.
Corpse flower durian brandy. If I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. Saison de Fry and crab trapper. So those are all very interesting bottles that, they're small, they're kind of unique, limited type edition stuff
Yeah.
that you don't see anybody else doing.
No, and you know what? They honestly they utilize a lot of their stuff. So like, geez, what is it? I had bought the Mellow Fellow, which
Yeah.
is kind of like
Mellow
their
corn.
kind of version of, must I say, mellow corn, but it's really good. And I think that's the one that's aged in their so they have a William Whipple winter wheat whiskey that they do. So it's a wheated whiskey. So they actually aged that Mellow Fellow in their um William Whipple whiskey barrels. So like a lot of the stuff they do is like kind of reusing stuff that they have on hand. Kind of like a regenerative process almost, right? They have yeah, you could go on for days. Like their gin, obviously, you got somebody like Stephen Grass there, and you got to have gin, right? They do botanical gin that is made from stuff that they grow on their farm. Their apiary gin, which I actually have, it's actually really good. It's made from the local bees that they have on their property. The honey that they produce. So it's a cool place. What they're doing is just like there's honestly no end in sight to like what they've done and what they're planning on doing. I got word that there are some interesting things that they have coming up. Not sure what that is, but looking forward to it.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to this single barrel pick right here. But, um, I think what I'll say here is this is kind of a cool experience because it's almost like a small batch single barrel type of deal right now.
Oh yeah,
Just the way I'm looking at it. Like these are single barrels, it's its own barrel. Um, but they're all the same proof. And it's definitely it's the Chocorua rye, which is 100% rye. And I think Jamie's got some other information we were trying to talk about a little bit before, depending on how they malt it and whatnot. But this is 100% rye. It actually might be different. This pick is a little bit different compared to what you might see a lot of people doing. Right? They might be getting a bourbon, a rye, this and a that, and they're just picking something. We're gonna kind of settle on something from this Chocorua rye, and I think that's kind of cool.
yeah. And like I have barrel dates and stuff too on here.
Okay.
So
All right. So hold that thought then, because I'll ask you what those are. Let's So we got A, B, and C, right? Obviously, and there Googs labeled it for me because he sent this to me. A, B, and C. What's the on A?
so A was barreled on 11/20 of 22. So November 20th, 2022.
Okay, so it's about 3 years old right now.
Yeah.
Just over 3 years old. Or
No, it's about two and a quarter,
okay,
two and a
yeah,
half
yeah,
ish.
probably about 2.5,
Yeah,
close to it. All
yeah.
right, what's the date on B?
So B is they're all pretty close. B is 11/17/2022,
Okay, and what's C?
and C is 11/29/22.
Okay. So they're all different. It's not like they're pulling these from the same exact um date on these. And with a rye, we can probably get away with a little bit of a younger age. And that's just like I remember when we sampled with them on the episode, the whatever I forget the young stuff that we had. It was like really good. It was like developed and
Yeah,
it's like
I think that was a 2-year-old Old Man on the Mountain bourbon, and then we had their first. I think it was their first bottled in bond that they came out with. It was their 4-year-old Old Man on the Mountain
yeah.
bourbon we had. And that's what the one they sent us. So I think they have a 7-year as well too. So
All right.
and it's all local kind of grains too, right? So they try to stay local within the New England area.
So do we want to just do one at a time? Probably easiest, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So A.
Hey,
What do you know in Googs?
I know we read a little bit about the generic or the online one, but I definitely get a little bit of that hay, a little bit of that little sweet chocolate very subtle chocolate notes, kind of like that coming through with that malt, I think. So, but yeah, hay and it's sweet, very sweet.
Yeah, I would get a sweet nose on this, like a grassy hay.
Yeah, very mild fruit, maybe pear.
I get some like a hint of oak on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a fruity sweet for me too.
Right. Yeah, I do. I do get a little bit of fruit, but like that, just that grassy hay kind of earthy note to it. Which actually, I think a couple years ago, I probably would have been off-putted by it. But honestly, that earthiness and is kind of really nice. It brings a lighter nose to the drink.
So I get on the color too. I get like an orangey, very light amber
Yeah.
color to these. I don't know. The last one for me, I'm just looking at all three right now, so I know I'm hopping, but this is C is a lighter color, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, I did notice that. I actually thought when I was looking at it before, I thought it was darker, but now that I put it up to each other, they're kind of a lot lighter. The third one is. I would say I'd say A is probably the darkest out of all of them.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
close.
All right. Taste and finish for you.
Give me a sec.
I get a little spice just
Yeah,
to kind of start in a bite. Not not like a vicious bite, but like a little nip.
it's dry. I actually, honestly, I get a lot of more flavor on the back end. On the back end, I get a lot of that like peanut brittle, like a peanut butter taste to it. It's very subtle, but like I got a lot of that at the end there. Yeah, it's very light, I think, in my opinion. It definitely gets some of those earthy notes on the taste that follow through. I would say it's not as sweet as a nose. It has more bitterness, I think, on the palate than it does on the nose.
Yeah, and I said something else. Said kind of a light spice. The finish though for me, it's kind of for me it sits the same as the taste. I don't know. Sip it again. That spice hung in there a little bit longer for me. I don't know what you think. On another sip.
Yeah, I mean, I get a little bit of a light spice, but honestly, dude, like it's washed down. I'm just kind of like collecting all the taste off the sides of my mouth, like just trying to really excrete everything from the side of my mouth that I accumulate. Yeah. And at the end, it's like I said, a lot of peanut butter. It's a little bit more sweeter, creamier than like you would get from like a Jim Beam nut taste. It's just it really tastes like peanut butter on the end to me, and
So
it comes
Googs,
through. Yeah,
creamy mouthfeel.
creamy, nutty mouthfeel.
I will add that though, because
Yeah, I mean, it's that. That is one thing I tasted it 4 times now. I took 4 sips of it, and every single time at the end, like you got to give it like 5 seconds, and then as soon as it hits the back of your throat,
yeah.
it's just
Have you tried these yet at all? Like, have you done any little samples? Okay. All right. Let's go to B. So I will say, like, when I first opened these and poured them and then like let them breathe a little bit, the nose is like on a quick nose without like analyzing anything earlier. You're getting the same smell, like a similar smell
off of
off the nose, but like without dissecting it a little bit.
yeah.
This is a heavier.
It's a heavier note version of A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the nose on this one came off a lot stronger than A did.
But so any changes on
So
the nose at all?
I don't know if that bolder note coming through is more oak or it's just that rye spice, but it definitely it noses a lot bolder than that first one. They got similar noses, but this one definitely was a lot more noticeable or more.
Well, I'm trying to taste it and go back to the nose. Sometimes my nose changes a little bit after I taste.
This has a lot more flavor on the front of the palate or on the front of the taste. But I think this one's a lot sweeter than the first one. It has a lot more flavor throughout. I definitely still get that peanutty peanut butter taste on the back of it, but is way more prominent, and I get that taste a lot quicker. I don't have to let it linger there. Like it's like straight. It's a lot more on the front of my palate. I get those notes.
Yeah,
I don't get as much spice though either.
I was gonna say I'm getting less spice.
Less spice, more sweet, a lot more flavor at the beginning.
but that spice is coming through. Like I have
At
it
the
sitting
end.
out for a few seconds. It's sitting. It's not there in the beginning, but it's there in the end.
Yeah. It's like almost reversed. Like I get that peanut butter taste like right up front really quick, and then that rye sits in a little, or that spice sits in a little bit later on for sure. But I like that. I kind of like that welcoming sweetness on the front end, right? Like early on, like it grabs your attention. I don't have to wait for it.
Sorry, I'm going back and forth. I just want to I want to get a difference because I am getting a difference, but I'm trying to figure out because we got to choose at some point, right? Like
Yeah. I mean, as it lies, I like B a lot. I think I like B more than A right now.
I don't have a decision yet.
I mean, that's just where I'm leaning.
Yeah. No, but I don't want to I kind of want to come back after I try C. I want to
Yeah.
taste them all again and just make sure for me
Yeah. For sure.
all right, now B opened up a little bit more on the nose after going
Right.
back and forth. I think that's my way, going back and forth a little bit, is getting out of that. And I do this with other blinds that we do, because it's tough for me sometimes. But that gets me find a difference in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that nose just got a lot
It's a lot
better.
stronger.
Not as sweet.
On which one?
B.
B. B.
Yeah, but this is after nosing it for a while.
So you think A is is sweeter than B?
On the nose, yes.
Yes. Okay, I agree with that. I think what's coming through for me on B is maybe more oakiness, more the astringency of the oak, kind of as Vinny would say. I think it's making it less sweet on the nose, but honestly, all that flavor is up front to me on the palate versus A.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a lot. I always say like quenching, right? Like when I'm drinking whiskey, it's like either drying my mouth out or it's like quenching my thirst. And I feel like B is more like quenching than A is. A kind of from the beginning kind of dries my mouth out, where B kind of leaves me like, okay, like I want more of this. Like it's
I get what you're saying.
juicy. It's juicier, not in
So
a fruity sense, but like in a yeah.
I'm in that. I like a rye spice.
No, I
But no, but I like a rye spice, but it doesn't have to have the spice. So kind of the way you were talking there, going back and forth a little bit. I'm getting that oak, a little bit more oak on the palate there, which is different. So there is a difference between these two.
yeah. I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure how the proofing it down to 90 on all of them was gonna play out with like the dates so close. But I mean, there's for me at least, there's definitely a difference between A and B for sure.
What about the finish?
My nose was
Not as
I would say the same notes as the first one, maybe a little bit more oaky, a lot more bolder. I think the notes from A or the notes from B superseded A. Like they were the same, but they were stronger to me. And
yeah.
I think it's because it was like a sweet oak, maybe.
And what was your taste? Again, you had more oak.
Taste was a little more oak. I would say the it was the peanut up front instead of at the end. It wasn't as dry tasting to me. It was more like quenching, juicy, whatever you wanna, however you want to describe it, than A was. And then you do get that spice, like you were saying, on the back end, like when you let it sit. It's almost like A and B reversed. Like the notes on the back end of A were up front with B, which I thought was more inviting, right? Like, cause I want that first initial like, whoa, okay, this is good. Like, not waiting for it.
And that was kind of on your finish as well, right?
Yeah, I want to say the finish on this one maybe might not have lasted as long as what A did. Still picking up a little notes, like more pear notes, I think, on the finish as it's sitting. I get some pear on the back end, some like light fruits, like yeah, I would definitely say pear
Okay.
on the back end of this one. Nutty, peanut buttery on the front, pear on the back.
Googs just spilled half his samples.
I just broke my glass too.
Was that B or C?
That was B.
Okay, that's fine. Taylor, we might want to switch this part around. So on the website, it says to find out more of the Chocorua Rye, click here. And I went, it's like a separate website, chocoruawhiskey.com.
Oh, really?
It's Tamworth, the legendary whiskey of the White Mountains. And it's got the legend of Chocorua, 1838. And it's this big, long story.
So I think that's on the bottle. So if you look up their bottle, it has all that like cursive writing on it.
It is what's on the bottle. You're right. Yeah.
So I think Steve Grass does that stuff because he's a writer. He wrote his own book and he's a big history buff, is what from what Jamie was saying. So he knows a lot of the history and whatnot.
This is a cool bottle. Single barrel pick. If this will be on the bottle plus whatever else, they talked about, this is a cool label. So I definitely want something of the Chocorua history and label on there because that's a cool bottle.
Yeah. And it's a it's a square bottle too, tall but square.
Yep.
So like all three sides are covered. So the back would be like the fourth side that's not covered or doesn't have anything on it.
Like a long rectangle, long square.
Long rectangle. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do C.
Yeah, let's do C because I'm trying to figure out if that's a glass shard in my B or not.
Well, if you cut your tongue, we'll know. So this one to me looked the lightest in color.
Ooh.
This tingles my nose hairs a little bit more.
Let's say you get a little more ethanol-y, a little more.
Now go back to B. Sorry, you can't do that.
Well,
you got a little bit left? But I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean that as a jab at you. I meant like, dude, I went back to B and the nut smell on B just kind of bursted through there. This is like that going back and forth.
Yeah, on the nose, yeah.
This is a challenging barrel pick.
It is because I think the proofing it down to the 90 all the same is really hard because it makes it challenging because they're all so similar.
But it's this is exciting,
different. Yeah. So do you go back from C to A yet?
Nope. I'm going to. A still smells fruity.
Yeah, fruity, but it has like a musty.
Yeah.
Like
we should go after this. Let's redo A nose and then go back to C and see how it changes that. Like just sort of like let's not like let C have that. Treat A like we're trying it again for the first time. All right. So what do you nosing on C? I'll say this. It's similar, but you're getting and
I feel like more fruit.
Yeah.
No?
It's got
No. It's still got that earthiness. The earthy really stands out to me.
I'm losing the earthiness on this the more I nose it. It's definitely not like nutty. It's not. It's like all right, maybe it's like a dulled down earth note.
Yeah.
Like where you're saying, hey, maybe I'm getting more. No, I'm not getting. I don't know.
Like a wet hay.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say hay. It's fruity.
I'm trying not to go back.
It's a fruity. It's a sweeter nose.
I feel like I'm getting caught back and forth going between A and C smelling, and I don't want to, but I feel like I need to do it to compare and contrast the smells I'm getting.
It's like a simple fruit, like a basic, because it's like a sweet smell to me.
What's the Tampa Bay Bourbon Boys say everything smells like? Hibiscus?
Yeah.
Is it hibiscus?
Yeah. All right, well, what are you tasting? Come back to the nose. You can always come back to the nose. We don't have to.
All right, I'm going to say this. Toasted marshmallow. No, not the taste, the nose. I didn't taste it yet. No?
Yeah, that taste.
So that taste has like everything from A and B. It has
chocolate.
It has the chocolatey, it has the nut, it has the upfront good taste, and then it has the back end like lasts. Like I feel like it has everything A and B has all the way through. It lasts. It's a good medium to longer finish than B, way longer than B, and I think it has the same upfront as B, but has a long finish like A.
All right. Take A and B out of it. Explain C to me.
Explain C to you?
Yeah, because like when you go through the notes of A, you can't compare B and C to A. So just I want the notes from you for C. Don't try to
No, yeah, no, I
just
got
think
you.
of it as its own whiskey right now.
I got whiskey all over my arm.
Oh yeah. And you're getting fumes from your shirt too. So if that makes it, you know what I mean? Like just give me C. I want C before you. Well, I was okay with you comparing it, but I want you to think of C on its own. What notes are you getting? Because I started writing down notes and I'm like, longer than A, longer than B. Those aren't notes. Those are comparisons.
No. Yeah, I'm like trying to think of it now because
I get
C almost seems like it's in the flavor profile like flatter than like flat, like almost. I'm not. Nothing super sticks out. I think everything's pretty well balanced in C.
flat. So
Well, I don't. I guess not flat. I shouldn't say.
just hear me say what you said, hon. Flat but balanced. Like, is that
I should say it's maybe not flat. Maybe balanced. All like the flavors are balanced all the way through. Like it's
yeah, okay. So you're
it's
coming
a
out
little
with that.
toasty. It's a little earthy. It's got not as much of that nut, like that peanut buttery taste to it. It doesn't. I don't have as many of that. I think it's mellowed down on all those flavors, but it's even throughout. You know what I mean? Like nothing like sticks out super. Nothing
You
sticks
got
out to me on
give
C.
me a like a tasting note now that you might get on that.
I would get. Now I'm drawing a blank on this one. This one's like tough
Are you getting any
because I
vanilla? Are you getting any
I
oak, caramel, or fruit, or
I would say more like a toasted, maybe like a toasted almond kind of taste to it. Something's coming out toasted to me, and I get a little bit of bitterness that I would like if I ate an
yeah,
almond. A
toasted
little bit of
almond?
like a toasted almond. I'm very light though.
Can I read the notes from the website?
Yeah, go for it.
I think these make sense overall. So I'm actually going to start with this is an excellent sipping whiskey with only a mild heat, which I think we've gotten that on all of them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's got a light bitterness, which I think any bitterness we've come across has been light, and a medium length finish, which I think they've been, short to medium length, which makes sense. So,
yeah,
and I'd say medium length actually makes more sense.
yeah.
I would say short would be almost be like no finish. These have a finish on them.
They haven't finished yet.
And then the result is a cherry like nose, depth accented by the rye's peppery kick, which I got more pepper and spice on A. Um, and I swished this around my mouth a little bit more, so I did get more of a peppery.
Which one? C.
Yeah. Smooth hay-like notes open up as they warm on the tongue, which I think is what we're getting. This is the Tamworth Chocorua Rye note, the hay-like note. So people listening, like if you're unsure about a hay-like note,
It's not as off-putting as you think.
well, it's a different rye. Like this is different, and ryes vary greatly between a lot of major brands too, right? Like you might not like a rye, but you might think another one's awesome. That hay like note, I just think it embodies the Northeast region and where they're growing things. It doesn't affect the taste at all. It's more of a nosing note, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
And then it says opens up as they warm on the tongue, joined by fruity sweetness, which is reminiscent of apple and pear. And you said pear, but that is those fruits. And that's what I was kind of saying here is I was getting kind of like a fruit, but I don't know. There's a sweetness to it,
yeah,
which is nice. I want to kind of sip each one of these a little bit.
yeah.
And then I know you had a favorite, but maybe it changed a little bit. So think about it. let's not share that
Yeah.
yet. I said let's go back to A. Let's nose A and do a little taste of A right now. All right.
Okay.
And then I want to go back to C and just see if that nose changes for us like it did when I nosed A again. So I get bombarded with that hay
Yeah.
on this one. Just
Yeah.
compared to the other ones. Like,
Right. And you get that that like on a malted, like a heavy malted like barley or something like that maltiness of it. You get that kind of
and it settles down.
creaminess and almost like a Whopper kind of note to it, but like chocolatey.
When I like first lifted it up, I was like, whoa. And then I like now but it's settled down. So like if I'm sitting around and I'm drinking this, right? Like it's kind of an inviting nose, in my opinion. And I get that dry taste. Again, going back to looking at the notes.
A lot more spice. That peanut butter every single time, right on the back
Yeah.
end, every time.
Yeah. I still get I get more spice there. All right. Let's nose C now. Just because I got see if you get that nose is really well.
Yeah, it's a little bit lighter, but I feel like more sweet than hay, sweeter than earthy.
Yes. I'm not getting as much hay on this one. Did you have a little bit of B left or no?
I do.
And you
Like-
can always nose an empty glass. Just don't cut your nose, please.
Just for the pod, anything. I have one swig of the bee left.
All right, save that swig for a second. Let's rank the nose on these. What 1, 2, and 3. And this does not have anything. This doesn't have to do with our final pick. But like, let's see what we think.
It might be because I'm low on B, but I like the sweetness. I'm getting almost like a little bit of a brown sugar kind of note on B that I wasn't getting before. The fruitiness, the definitely not as much hay, earthy notes, but a lot more fruitier pear kind of note on that, like a caramel apple kind of note coming through that I like on B.
B is your best.
I would say B is the best nose, C, and then A. Honestly, every time I go back to A after nosing, so if I like nose C and then I nose A has like this weird, like off-putting, musty.
I'm with you. 3 has the worst. 3 is the worst nose. Out of
3 is?
yeah. Or sorry, A. I was gonna give it a 3. 1, 2, 3. So A is the worst nose. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, every time I go back to A, no matter which one I nose, it's like really like pungent, kind of musty smelling. Like it's
Yeah. No. It doesn't have those. It doesn't have the flavors coming into the nose. There's no flavors.
for sure.
Hey, something about C nose I do like better,
Maybe if I
but just like it's
strain
not a
my
big
shirt, I strain my shirt over the
sniff.
Glencairn, I might be able to get some more. No, it just smells like wet dog now.
All right. Get a little bit of a tasting ranking going. Don't drink all of B because I know B will be in the finals. I guess.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't mind the spice of A. I just think that the drawiness of A doesn't really sit well with me sometimes. Like a lot of times, I like something that's more juicy. You can say crushable. I don't know. But A has a little. It does have a little bit of a longer finish on it. But I don't know. I mean, for me, I feel like I could eliminate A. Just yeah.
Okay, you got A. A tastes 3 for you. I got to go through these all again.
Which one are you tasting?
That was B. I already did A, and I'm trying to go out of order a little bit.
Yeah. You gotta mix it up. That's why I was going A, C, A, B, C, B. I think C for me is the one that I need convincing. It's so hard because for me, C doesn't. Nothing stands out for me on C. Right? It's
You're
sweet,
B only.
huh?
You're B only.
Yeah, and like it's because I feel like B has all the same note. They're all, like I said, once again, we're gonna say that they all have similar notes, right? A is dry, gives me some flavor at the end, right? C is very monotone throughout the whole thing. It's very even with the flavor. Not one flavor for me sticks out on C. B, I get a lot of flavor up front, and it has like that medium length taste to it. I guess it all depends on what you want, right? Everybody's different. I don't. Do you want something that's balanced throughout, as far as like, and like what's balanced? Like, right? Like, is it a uniform flavor that nothing sticks out, that doesn't evolve throughout the tasting? Because to me, that's C. Whereas B is really sweet up front. It's really inviting on the beginning of the palate. It lasts and it gives you a little bit of spice at the end. I only have one more sip of B, so I'm like waiting to hear your feedback before I go back and have my final sip of B or C. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you're saying.
I don't, I,
I'm trying to give everything a fair chance here.
yeah, no, and I mean, obviously I am too.
Hold on, let me stop you. I'm getting a consistent, better nose out of B. It actually, like, the more you nose B, it's getting those. It's like growing in age on me a little bit. It's like a mix of hay and oak in like a pleasant way.
And like,
Like
and like
it's like it's not hay, but it's oak with some earth built around it.
that's what I'm saying. It's that sweet oak. Like, if you had like a sweet oak, if you're like smell like, take what can I think of, like a shampoo, right? Like, I know it's weird, but a shampoo, like, you have that sweet smell to like a. I don't know if I'm not even I'm making shit up in my head. Like, I feel like I don't know how to explain it. I get oak a lot more than A, but it's sweeter.
A's out.
I
A's
feel
out.
like
A's out.
A's out.
A's
Okay,
out.
I mean, well, regardless, to either one of them, I mean,
I'm just helping you. A is out.
yeah,
So I'm also dragging it out because I don't want this single barrel pick experience to end for us, Googs. This is such a big single barrel pick experience for us right now. Sitting at
I know
our
we're the only.
home.
So we were also the only two left out of the dad's. Well, not left out. We were the only two that couldn't make the dad's hat experience.
Yeah.
So,
And they weren't even planning to pick a barrel that day. Like, that just happened.
no, right. So here we are. That's kind of, we're like, we're gonna be in charge of this one.
So they're all good. Like, okay, so I will say, like, I appreciated the spice, a little bit of the spice on A, which was kind of what I was expecting. And it starts with that. Like, if A was last, that might have changed everything. Just with a spice, if it had that spice kick after trying all these. Like,
Yeah,
I'll say right now, I'm okay with B. I like the consistency. It has some of those oakier notes. It has a touch of sweetness. It's not overbearing, like you're getting something too sweet, which is not something you necessarily need on a rye, in my opinion. But it complements itself.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, I feel like when I tasted that one, like, that was it. I really did want
I
to
couldn't just let you pick B before though. Try and see.
No, I know, and that's fine. That's what it's all about, right? No matter what barrel pick you do, you're gonna get to a one, and you're gonna say, "I freaking love that," and that's gonna deter your opinion on what the other ones are, right? But you did a good job, and you tried to steer me back in and give the other ones a chance. And like I said, I really wanted to give C more, but when I taste something, I want something that, like, I want a note that sticks out, right? I want something that I can point out that excites me, that's right up my alley, that's a good flavor, and I feel like C kind of honestly lacked that. It was a
I think it
good.
lacked for me. It lacked a finish
Yeah.
for
It
me.
lacked the finish. That's what I mean. Like, it was even throughout. Like, it wasn't very long lasting, and it was the same note all the way through, or notes, whatever you want to say, all the way through. There was
Yeah.
nothing like. There was no upfront. and then evolved to this. Like there was it was very monotone.
When
It was
we promote this and we get this out there, it'll be interesting because you look at a rye and it's 90 proof and you're going to be like, what's the difference? I'm like, no, there is a difference if you sit here and analyze these. It's crazy.
yeah. I didn't think it was. You know, I was very nervous. I was very nervous for this episode because I didn't think there was going to be much difference between any of these, and because they were 90, but here we are. We're having a difficult time picking between three single barrel picks.
Jamie, you did us well. I will say these are cool. So this will be like a promotion thing. I think this is a good summer whiskey. Like backyard, hanging out, whatever you're doing, hosting people by yourself, mini fire, and you want to drink like a well-rounded whiskey. 90 proof rye out of New Hampshire is actually fits that description in my opinion. I will take that to the bank on this. Like I could drink this a lot if I'm being honest. Yeah, I get that musty smell on A again. A is out.
Yeah, yeah. I was just texting him, and we could figure out whether we want to cut this or not. He said, Jamie goes, it is 100% organic AC Hazlitt from Maine. It is from one farm called Benedicta Grain. About 45% goes to Hadley, Mass to get malted. No exogenous enzymes or funny business, just water, yeast, even a little sour mash. The malt
So
house in Mass.
it's just getting malted. Like
45% of 45% of the 100% rye is, yeah.
But what does getting malted mean?
So it's like
It doesn't change the rye content. It's just being malted.
it doesn't change the rye content. It's just like hold on. I'm trying to.
Honestly, I don't want to think about it.
Well, no, I'm gonna get it for you because
my brain can't comprehend it. You're malting something, so it's still rye.
it is rye, but it's a malting process which involves partial germination and drying. The process modifies the grain's natural food substances, converting starches into enzymes and sugars, which are crucial for fermentation and flavor.
Yeah.
It's soaked in water until they're. Oh, okay. So they soak in water the grain until it sprouts.
Okay. So it's
So
still
you're
100% right.
germinating. You're germinating.
Still 100% right.
It's 100% right, but you're
Yeah.
you're kicking off that fermentation process essentially.
Yes.
You're germinating the seeds. So it's like if I
was
planted
thrown
a
off
seed
because
in
I
soil,
thought you said 100% rye, and then I thought you said 45% malted barley, and I was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make it 100% rye, and that
No,
just
no,
might
no.
have been my listening skills.
No. You malt so when you get malted barley, you can have straight barley in a mash
Right.
bill. But
Right.
most of the time we see it saying malted barley.
Right.
So
But that
you
was
can
just
have
me not listening fully.
No, it's all good. No, dude, it's confusing shit, man. Like I'm not a high Z, or we're not high Z where we analyze every little bit of every single thing. I just don't have the time to do it. And he's an engineer, so he understands.
I don't care. I just like the whiskey.
Yeah, for sure.
But we want to get the correct information out there on the whiskey that we are promoting. So yeah, all right. We are selected. Make sure you take a photo of that B for Jamie. Let's keep it straight up.
Yeah.
100% right. All right. Only Rye fans.
Peace.